Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. I'd love for you to join the family and subscribe. Today I have a what's for dinner video, and I absolutely love doing these with you guys. On Monday we started off with a lasagna soup, and I've made a lasagna soup every time I find, a recipe that might look good on Pinterest, and I like to try a new one. I actually think that this one might be one of my favorites. It doesn't have as much cheese to it as some of the recipes I've made in the past. So I started up by browning some like that hot Italian sausage, and you could definitely change it to mild if that's too spicy for your family. But I go ahead and I brown that up in the skillet, and then I actually cut it up in a bowl after once it's cooked, because if you've cooked Italian sausage, it's kind of hard to get it nice and like small chunks. And then I browned some ground beef, and I definitely used quite a bit of seasoning just because I like it to be really flavorful. And so I did that separately, and I used the same pan, so that was kind of nice for cleanup for later. I added a ton of onion because I do love the taste of onion once it's cooked. So I added a ton of onion. That's like one full onion, some garlic, and I mixed that in with the ground beef. Once I was done, I put it into a large pot, which after making this, I think I need to purchase a larger pot because this got so full, and it kind of ended up splashing around a little bit, so that was kind of funny. But I mixed both the meats, the Italian sausage, the ground beef, the onions with tomato paste, and then some roasted petite tomatoes, and those were really, really delicious. Then I put in, it calls for anywhere between 7 to 8 cups of water / chicken broth. The reason I say water is because I do water, and then I use those chicken bouillon cubes. So you'll see me add those. And then I went and I cut up the lasagna noodles. Now, this was kind of funny because I had to break them, and the sauce was popping everywhere just because my pot isn't as big, but it did work out, and I used almost all of the lasagna noodles just because my family really likes the pasta in it. For vegetables for this meal, we went through and I shredded, I think it's called, or peeled. I peeled a cucumber and I cut it, and the girls really actually like cucumbers, so I should buy those more often. Then I did garlic bread, and I actually got this bread from the Schwan Man, and then I got the garlic spread from Walmart in one of our grocery hauls recently. And this just makes for an easy side. So I kind of like always having these things on hand to kind of make the meal complete. I just like to have some sides. So I threw that in the oven, and then I added some mozzarella cheese to the lasagna soup. Sorry if there's background noise. My daughter's with me while I am doing the voiceover. I have a 1 and a 2-year-old, and Anovali, my 1-year-old, is with me helping me do my voiceover today. So I went ahead and I stirred in the cheese, and then I plated up Anovali, Callie Rose, and I's plate. Corrie made his own plate later on because he got home from work a little bit later that day. So I actually had a salad with mine. It was a really full meal, and I actually ate this meal for 2 days at work that week for lunch, so that was perfect. On Tuesday, we had something that I've actually filmed before. If you haven't seen that video, I can link it down below, where I go a little bit more into detail about these easy chicken taquitos. In the first video that I made these in, I think I used corn, and this time I used flour tortillas. You can switch it up, just it's your preference. I went ahead and I used canned chicken, seasoned it really well, and this meal, guys, is so easy. So I told you guys on Tuesdays we either do Taco Tuesday or taquitos, some sort of Mexican food, and that was our meal. Tuesday was just an easy taquitos because I played soccer on this day, and so I needed something that was quick, that I could quickly change into, bring Callie Rose to dance, come home, feed the girls, and then go back and play soccer. So I had quite a bit. I used half a cream cheese, and I always put the chicken on top, let it sit there for a second so it helps melt the cream cheese, and then I go through it and I mix it around. Now this meal is one that you could easily change just based off of what you guys have in the house, but we this time put in some green salsa, which I absolutely love. It's actually this Taco Bell brand. And then I put in the red chunky salsa. I love to have some type of chunky because you can like taste the, chunks in it, I guess. And then I put in the cheese that we had left over. I had 3 cheese or like Mexican blend and some sharp cheddar. And I had a little bit of pepper jack. So it's kind of nice to use up the rest of it and not have any go to waste. And then we used fresh lime, and of course it was slippery. So, whoops, there it goes. And some lemon, and the lime for some reason didn't have as much juice, but the lemon had plenty, and it's such a good flavor to the mix. Once the mix is done, it should be pretty thick, but you don't want it to be just chicken. Like, you definitely want that other flavor to it, so whatever your family prefers. And then I filled the tortillas, and this time I overfilled them. Like, I wanted to use the exact amount of tortillas, so I just filled them up as full as they could get. And you can see when they get out of the oven later, it spilled over a little bit, but honestly that is totally fine. It's just as good that way. So I rolled them up, but make sure that you spray your pan on the bottom and that you spray the taquitos on the top before they go in. And I throw them in the oven at 425 degrees. I do flip them halfway through, and I think that's why they kind of look a little bit more messy this time around, which is okay. I don't mind how they look. So I went ahead and made my oldest sister makes this rice, and she taught me how to make it. I just cleaned off some white rice, 1 cupful, put a cup of water and a cup of chunky salsa with 1 chicken bouillon. I think I am saying that right. I don't know. Comment down below if I'm totally messing that up. In the pressure cooker, and in 10 minutes you have like perfect Spanish rice. So I pulled them out. You guys can definitely see they went overboard a little bit, but that's okay. I probably would have filled 2 or 3 more if I would have had the tortillas. The rice just always turns out so good. It makes quite a bit though, so we always have enough for leftovers, which is really nice. The girls' plate was pretty simple. I cut a taquito in half, and they eat this meal pretty well. The avocado, my younger daughter was trying to pick it up with her hands, and it's slimy, so it's going everywhere. And then my plate is separate. I ate after soccer way later that night. On Wednesday, I tried something completely new, and it was something that Corrie had mentioned that he's had at work before that he really enjoyed. It's called, I think, cowboy beans, and you make bacon, and I just love watching bacon cook. I don't know, maybe that's weird. Anyway, you make the bacon. I cut up an onion, and then you use really any kind of beans. It seemed like I found so many different recipes, but I chose to buy some of the beans that I knew. I bought one type of bean, which I'm not sure if I would use again, but I browned ground beef, and then I bought the Bush's baked beans, the original, and those we've had before. I love those. So I seasoned my ground beef. I added the onions to that mix. And then in a pot, I put in some kidney beans, some white kidney beans, which those I don't know if I would do again, to be quite honest with you. And then I put in the Bush's original baked beans, and I mixed those together, added the ground beef, and then I did add a little bit of water to this mix. And then it calls for some ketchup. You could definitely even add mustard. I put in some brown sugar, and then at the very end I did add in some molasses. Now this recipe can cook in a crock pot. Oh, and of course the bacon. How did I forget the bacon? I cut up the bacon and threw that in there, which I think is the best part of this recipe. So that was so good. And you can let this cook all day. I would maybe even throw in a little bit more brown sugar. We did some easy hot dogs, so I put those in the oven, put on the side some green beans and carrots, and the cowboy beans were something new, so that was kind of fun. On Thursday, I had baked chicken. I ran home during the day and threw the chicken in the oven because Corey was home. He was able to take it out of the oven for me, so it was already ready. And then I put it in a pan just to warm it back up with some onions. But baked chicken, that seasoning, oh, it's so good. I make this baked chicken all the time. And it is chicken thighs. So I added northern great beans, some corn, and some green chilies. I mixed that up. You add 2 cups of chicken broth to this, and of course I do the water with the chicken bouillon cube. And then when it is done boiling and you're ready to eat it, you'll add the heavy cream and some sour cream and stir it, and then it is ready to serve. This is definitely one of our family's favorite meals. I love this meal. One of my coworkers shared it with me, and I've been making it ever since. Of course, I paired it with some tortilla shells, the jalapeno flavor ones, and some cheese and sour cream. On Friday, we did an easy meal where we just did Chinese food, and it's already kind of all made, so you just kind of warm it up. So this was a really easy Friday meal. I did chicken egg rolls this time. Corey prefers when they're chicken and not just the veggie spring rolls, and so I got those this time. I got the beef and broccoli, which is one of my absolute favorites. I put it in the pan. Once I think it's ready, I do cut it up a little bit into smaller pieces so that it is easier for everybody to eat. So you'll see that they're a lot smaller when it's ready to serve. And then I went ahead and fried up some pot stickers, and this is something new that we just recently discovered we absolutely love. Before, I used to boil and fry them on a pan, and deep frying them like this, they turn out so good. So I'm really excited. If you guys have this and try it, let me know. I plated everyone's plate, and honestly, this was a hit.
Delicious.
Are you gonna eat it all?
Yeah.
What did you make?
Nothing.
Nothing? Who made it all?
Me. I come help to sit on my tail.
On Saturday, it was a change of plans. I had written breakfast, but I'm always willing to change one day in the week if we decide to go out. And we had gone to Bismarck, which you will see in a vlog on Thursday. I did film this weekend, so I'll be sharing that with you guys. We went to Longhorns and we ordered 2 appetizers, the chicken rolls and chicken wings, and then 4 entrees. We had chicken tenders, kids cheeseburger, and then Corey had a cheeseburger with bacon. And I honestly don't ever order a meal, I just share with the girls. This is everything we had this week. If you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up, comment down below, share, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you in my next one. Bye. Okay, I just got home from work, and this is what happens when you skip nap time. She just was sitting here, and then she just laid her head down and fell asleep. She must be so tired.